the lights will come on and we'll get ready to go racing. The Asia Talent Cup is officially back, and it's a heck of a start from Furusato, and Dinesh in number 13 got a woeful getaway there. That is the number 2, Rei Wakamatsu, eventually him on the grid in second place, but Furusato, no one's going to be true. That it will be absolutely key. A really wide exit for quite a few of them on the exit of turn 1. Careful into turn 2, cold side of that left tyre there, and on into turn 3. But look at this already, Fran.
Dinesh just got a little bit bogged down off the line, and yeah, Wakamatsu getting past Aditama, a few guys there, but yeah, perfect start for Furusato. I did get a little bit nervous when he went really wide, didn't he, out of turn 1, and he was out of the shot for a second longer there, aren't we? But yeah, all through safely, which is great to see. Everyone underway for 2021, and yeah, Furusato though, that's pretty much exactly what everyone would have feared, given the pace he's shown already, for him to get such a clean start unbothered at the front.
Yeah, that's Rei Wakamatsu there, just eking out gap after gap after gap. Daniel Sharil, shout out to him in 4th place there, just behind Thompson. That is great to see, way back on the pace.
Yeah, definitely. It's
a bit of a wiggle there. Who was that? That was Sharil, I think it was.
I think it was, but yeah, that was a nice wiggle to wake up on this screen set, and it's Wakamatsu on the chase. Not a rider who had the kind of one-lap pace that you'd maybe want at the moment to start trying to hunt down Furusato at the front, so I'm sure these guys are going to try and squabble it out and get on the chase, but there you can see Sharil.
These guys have really got it catching Furusato. Just hope that the slipstream effects will carry them back forward to him, because otherwise he's got a 2-second gap already, not even at the end of lap 1. This could be wham bam thank you ma'am, see you later Furusato. He has well and truly learned a fair amount over the last 12 months. For 5 up there into 4th place for Daniel Sharil, and then Aditama just behind him.
Yeah, you can see Gunmie in the last couple of corners there made a lot of room, then lost out obviously a little bit in that slipstream, attacking again now. But these guys, the more they squabble, the more that's going to just give Furusato that clean air, unbothered, to just make his own pace. It's very Spanglish. Called it already just after 1 lap. It's his to lose, I think, here at the sale.
I mean, I think we both mentioned that it's a very big, huge rarity that we get a sort of race like this.
Yeah,
and,
thanks for proving me so wrong, race 1.
It's a long way to go, but it's a 2.6-second gap now from Furusato back there, so this is a heck of a statement to make. Right, second position, Hongo, a jump start, double long lap penalty. He'll have to take that down at turn 6, where these guys have just passed through right now. That is the number 13. That is Hakim Dinesh, who started from the front row of the grid. A woeful start, pushed way back down the order. Who is he fighting with? I missed the number though.
Yeah, same. It's again a crash.
Aditama takes down Wakamatsu. That's both of their races done and dusted. Wakamatsu is furious, understandably so. His ambition outweighed his talent. The front end said, I've got no grip, mate. You've got to let go, and they've let go of that race, and Wakamatsu is absolutely
when it's not even you who's caused it, just that bad luck to be in the way. Aditama, of course, just his own crash by himself, but nothing too Larry, just didn't judge it right, and then unfortunately, yeah, another rider in his path, but both up and walking away, yes, or slightly stropping away, understandably. So early in the race as well, it's got to be frustrating. Maybe challenge for the cup. That's a 0 first time out, although I know it's very early to say such things.
Well, thumbs up to the marshal then from Wakamatsu as he trudges away. Good thing that this such a deep gravel trap, because that was a heck of a stomp he had on right then. Second place at the moment then is Gunmie the corner, as he just goes around the outside there of Carter Thompson, the number 6. Really impressive move there, outbreaking into turn 1. Who's the number 13 that we got there with them as well? That is Hakim Dinesh. So it's a pretty big shuffle throughout then. Dinesh making, well, definitely said, no, I can't do it, mate. I can't.
Yeah, it's sadly just a bit over the limit there, but it wasn't anything too crazy.
No.
So just an unfortunate end to that move there, and both of them out in the end. And you can understand Wakamatsu's frustration when it's not your fault at all, and you just suddenly on the floor. It must be quite a shocker. 4 seconds or more.
Crikey.
But we have seen Gunmie now able to just pull away from that squabble a little bit. So it might be interesting to watch as the race goes on. We don't know how hard Furusato's pushed early on, but we do seem to have a little bit less chopping and changing, at least at the front of the second group. Having said that, now it looks...
Well, this is the thing you tend to see in the Asia Talent Cup, actually. With these guys being so new to a lot of these circuits, perhaps some more than others, you do find a couple of riders are really fast in one sector, and then a complete different sector of riders are super fast in another.
Yeah, actually, really interesting.
When it gets to them at a 3 World Championship, for example, you don't tend to see cooling of their Grand Prix
career. It's interesting as well. Yeah, especially because obviously all the bikes are the same in the ATC, so it's not like we've seen in MotoGP with Ducati really pulling out a gap on Yamaha in that 4th sector. It's not the same in the ATC. All the bikes are the same, so it is just who can really nail this sector or who has the edge here. Yeah. Look at that gap now.
Incredibly impressive that was. Now, I'm looking at the number 17 in the middle of your picture. That is Hongo. and he has got a double long lap penalty to
and
take.
he hasn't been in, has
Not
he?
yet.
No,
Absolutely. So whilst he's in the battle
for
for this second place, as he's making a heck of a move up the inside, or he could find himself in even bigger trouble there. So number 8 heads up the inside of him. That is Kanta Hamada, the number 8 from last year, who took that first victory of 2020, unable to back it up, but was actually, if I remember correctly, the championship leader after round 1.
He was, yeah. He took the win in race 1 and then cancelled. But yeah, it's those moves as well. Like Hongo really. There we go. I was just going to say, the biggest heartbreak you can imagine is ending up and having an incident with another rider when you technically shouldn't be in that group. Not sure quite how.
Yeah, he didn't quite exit. He didn't quite exit at the correct point, but I guess he was trying to also be rather safe. Ah, yes, you can see that was a bit of a into the rules.
Yes, it's basically like the amount of time that a human can like not manage to react in. So even like the fastest reaction times in the world, if you're within that or before it, anticipating the start. And they have got very good sensors, so it's not just, you know, a game of victimization looking at the camera. So yeah, unfortunately for Hongo, then not the ideal start to his season.
Second, because Furusato has a 7.1 second lead now. That is extremely impressive indeed. Hakim Danish, well, that's a heck of a recovery from a dismal start on the grid, up into second place now, where he started the race from, ahead of Gumir and Daniel Sharil, ready to pounce. I'll tell you what, Fran, I do know at the time, 16 years old, he's grown a considerable amount as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, he's 18 now and the oldest rider in the Cup. But yeah, looks like he's straight back on it, which is great to see. It's really genuinely makes me very happy having followed his recovery. And yeah, it was a really bad crash, and to see him back on it, maybe he gets a podium, maybe he doesn't, but he's fought at the front again, and that is the main big factor in getting him motivated to really work as hard as he has at his recovery.
And you think it's been a long wait for these guys since the last time they actually threw their legs over these motorcycles in a racing capacity, 1 year. Well, think about how long it's been for Daniel Sharil with one thing on his mind. I mean, at that time of the race, he was a winner in the Asia Talent Cup.
It does, but a slightly less twisty and turny journey at the front though. Furusato, have you looked at the pace between the last lap around?
Oh,
because
crikey.
He did a 2:10.8. and the guys behind him did a 2:12 dead, was the quickest lap behind him, so 1.1-ish seconds ahead, and that's on the last lap round, not a comparison of the best laps. Absolutely hammer down as these guys still squabbling, so I think it's definitely now the number 15s to lose. And
you have to forgive us for jinxing it at the very top of the show, but hopefully this is still sufficing on the excitement level, the battle for second place in the Asia Talent Cup. Long lap penalty lane for Fran on the way home on the bus. See, this little groupetta here of Asia Talent Cup riders, well, I'm quite excited about that final lap and the run to the line, to be honest. Is whoever's going to be leading out of that final corner, it's going to be a case of do not lead out of the final corner.
Yeah, exactly. Don't repeat back to Europe from Qatar on a bus. We have a shuttle service this weekend as we're in a bubble. So that is the bus. But yeah, these guys, great battle. I'm sure it's going to be fireworks on that final lap. Like you say, it's always difficult to judge, but I think leading, unless you really do have a fairly significant gap to those guys, definitely, unfortunately, find that out last year. But it seems that, like we said earlier, a few of these guys are stronger at different points on the track. So you can really see like that gap grows,
who's that gone down? Number 23.
Home rider Hamad Al Sahuti. Sad to see him on the floor then. But some good experience racing here at his home track.
Which corner was that?
Bit of a twitch there.
And a fair repair job for the mechanics today. That's a real shame.
But up and okay, so at least we'll be able to get back out there tomorrow. But yeah, nothing he could really do about that, was there?
No, and it just goes to show the battle as well. All these guys have a major point to prove, but that point is definitely being proven by a tired Furusato out front. Still 9 laps to go. I mean, how much can he stretch this out? This is just astonishing. You think of former Asia Talent Cup riders, I mean, this sort of ride reminds me of Yuki Ku.
Someone, and when, especially like today as well, you get that perfect start, there's nothing been in your way, and then you're just able to take off in that clear air and just make those laps, put them in, and like we said, he's still so much quicker than the rest of the guys. Last time around, it was a 2:11.1 for Furusato and a 2:12.2 for Gudmir on his tail, but still significantly quicker. Really impressive stuff from him. So yeah, he looks pretty cash out there, although I'm sure the heart rate's beating a little bit more than it appears on the TV.
Every single year. And wow, okay, that's clearly where it went wrong then on the run down towards turn 16.
It would appear to be, yes.
The sprinkling of gravel over the track there. These guys successfully avoiding all those then. So Gudmir put in the driving seat at the moment, in for second place. Then I think you've got Danish just behind on the number 20. 120 just behind. So that's 2nd to 7th place we have here.
Yeah, it's even better for commentators when they're 21 and 22, isn't it?
Yeah, not confusing at all.
But yeah, Gunmie though has been at the head of this group for much of this race now. A couple of times we've seen guys get a bit closer, comfortable in that 2nd place, and like you said, it's Danish now on his tail, and now they're almost starting to make a little bit of daylight. Be interested to see if that remains the case once they get back onto the start-finish straight with that slipstream, but it's very much a 2 and a 4 now in this battle.
Yeah, but the other thing I was just thinking about, Fran, looking at it with 8 laps to go, relatively small runs, they look so drained, absolutely drenched in sweat. It's such a physical exertion, and this is a race, you know, adrenaline's pumping, you're making moves. I mean, what effect will that have as we get to these latter stages of the race? It's still 35 degrees Celsius out there, nearly 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But
that's for our viewers in the US and Liberia and where else. There's a couple of other places, but mainly just the North American.
I mean, come on, get with the times, guys.
I'm sorry. But yeah, you can still see that gap then. These guys looking a little bit feistier in this fight, but we've not seen anything since the rider at the head of this little quartet here. But yeah, I don't know. I really can't call it because they're certainly not too far away to catch the Mie-Danish duo either. But yeah, I think that start-finish straight, if we see what happens there, if these guys really start squabbling more and more, that's definitely a sign that the two ahead will have a little bit more
teams on them. They're not exactly the tallest fellas around, so it should get a good slingshot with the old slipstream down the start and finish straight. Hamada just sticking behind Thompson there. Then you've got the Shiril duo behind them, but no, not quite any closer to Mr. Gunmie there. And got to keep an eye on what these sector times are doing then in these first ones. I mean, the first sector is pretty huge, going all the way up towards turn 4. That's over 1 kilometre of circuit. It's such a huge layout we have here at Losail International Circuit.
And how do you know that?
Because I actually ran it the other day and I was keeping track of my heart rate throughout.
And you mentioned it several times.
Yeah, it was. Well, the fact that I ran it or how big it is, but
I'm very.
It is very, very hot indeed, isn't it?
But yeah, it's a big track here at Losail. I'm a big fan of it. It's a really great circuit, especially when it's lit up for MotoGP. It's pretty impressive. It's so cool with the lights and then just the desert. But for these guys as well, now you can see the sun a little bit lower, and yeah, it looks awesome with all these guys in this pretty smart new Idemitsu logoed livery.
Yeah, very, very tidy indeed that. And I was going to say that the other reason why this is such a rider's track as well, it's because one of the few places on the MotoGP calendar you can really ring a MotoGP bike to its limits. So just think what you could do with these minute capacity Asian Cup machines. Yeah, just sort of the long turn 11 here before Timmy into the combination of turns 12, 13 and 14. And their lean angle is pretty minimal going through turn 11. Of course, it makes absolute sense in comparison to MotoGP machines, but just full gas.
Yeah, it must be a pretty impressive ride on one of these for the first time. Because, yeah, obviously the rookies and stuff, of course. But, yeah, the Australians and that, they've not been here before, I don't think. So, pretty nice opportunity, as well as starting competition again and moving into the IATC. Just, yeah, to ride this beautiful track here at Losail.
Well, as we come out the final corner then, it was noticeable that the Shiril duo have managed to catch the two riders ahead of them, Thompson and Hamada. So they're now a quartet once again. Goes off Shiril into turn 1 there. And then, well, who's that behind him? Oh, that was a bit of a shove from Daniel on Hamada there, but he keeps it fairly firm with that super ice cool, almost very classical Japanese MotoGP rider style there, keeping that head tucked well in behind the screen. Yeah,
we saw him, they run a little bit wild that we're sharing the paddock with this weekend. But yeah, Daniel Shiril then definitely looking like he wants to make short work of these guys and maybe try and catch Mie and Danish. But Mie and Danish, oh, there we go. You
Shiril
see,
up the inside.
He's pulled it off as well. Not too many fireworks there, just nice clean move. Aggressive, but in the best way. But yeah, so here we go then.
Who's this guy? I forgot about him. Where is he?
Yeah, just
almost forgot.
It's nearly 12 seconds now.
Yeah, that
really is a stunner, isn't it?
And it's really good to see because last year, not really quite learning the very key aspect of the race from one race to the next, from one day to the other. Coming out of that final corner in first position and losing out both times, you did think, oh, come on, son.
Who knows? Maybe he's just been watching the
motorcycle races as a whole and how, well, they're like elephants. They don't forget things like that. So for Rosato, turning up a year later, not just learning from his mistake before, but he's saying, well, I am going to lead out of the final corner on the final lap, but I'm going to make sure I'm so far up the road.
I'm going to do it with 12
even
seconds
on Jack Miller's Ducati, no one's going to catch me. Well, actually fourth place now because these guys are off the podium as of this moment. They come on to the start and finish straight for once again 5 laps to go, down to 4 laps to go. It's Thompson versus Shiril's duo and then Hamada as well. They're not getting any closer to Gunmie and Danish though, Fran.
No, they don't seem to be really cutting into that gap too much, but
6 is the normal for these guys.
All nice and
as you'll see now.
There. Yeah, exactly. So this big squabble here is absolutely raging.
Very tight.
Nice and close, that guy.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal in that fight there. You can see everyone scatters and then gets back in there. I'm hoping Hongo has taken his second. But yeah, it's really incredible group battle back there, and there's a good group of riders that, yeah, just almost nothing splitting them over the line last time around. I'm trying to count them quickly, but it's at least 9 of them. I managed to do that in 3s on the timing screen quickly. But yeah, really good battle there. Some good rookies in there as well, getting their teeth into this first ever ATC race that they've done.
And I was wrong when I counted the laps, because half now in this first Asia's Talent Cup race of 2021. And well, the headlines right now in this particular corner is the Shiril duo have, in fact, passed both Hamada and Thompson. But can they make a break? Can Daniel, who is the number 21, hunt down Danish and Mie for those podium positions? What a return that would be for the Malaysian rider. We'll keep an eye on the gap then, because behind Danish, well, when they crossed the line, it was 1.7 seconds back to Thompson. But what about... so it is therefore game on here in race 1.
Oh, you've called it already. You've called it already.
Potentially.
But no, you can visually see that gap getting a little bit smaller though, can't you, as well, just from the TV pictures, as well as the timing screens backing that up. And it's at the back. But yeah, I think it might be bubbling up quite nicely. They've got enough time, haven't they?
Well, where are they now then? It's Shiril 1.6, so they did lose a fair amount in that final.
They lost a couple tenths there.
Yeah, they did.
Maybe not then. Maybe it's game on for 4th. But then we don't know what drama's going to as wide of the final corner when it comes down to it. We'll
absolutely
have to find out.
Savage final corner move in a Dovizioso Marquez-esque style there. Could be on the cards, but yes, chopping and changing positions all over the shop. Daniel Shiril is now at the back of this little quartet, but is he for long? He's up the inside of Thompson once again. Hamada staying around the outside. He carries terrific corner speed, does Hamada. Thought it this time around, but look at that, Shiril, the number 20, with Daniel just behind him, now heading it. But are they any closer to the others? Well, no, actually, it's extended again at the first sector. It was 1.8. What about now as they come around to complete the second sector? That is the big question there. On the exit of this corner, they cross the intermediate sector, and it's still 1.8. So,
status quo, barring any drama, and this is going to remain a fight for 4th. But yeah, pretty spicy now. The Shirils have made their presence known and now back at the front of this group. But they're just holding each other up, and it's understandable because obviously they don't want someone to escape and then get in that podium fight if they can't follow. But yeah, it's definitely not helping their overall mission as a foursome. I was like,
this is part of the Asian Talent Cup as well. These are not fully well-rounded, fully seasoned and ripe motorcycle racers at World Championship level. They're still very much on learning curves, even when the action is as fearsome as this into the final corner. The Shirils come out of the final corner in the leading positions in this quartet, but how long will that last? Thompson, the little pocket rocket round there. Is that Wakamatsu watching from the sidelines?
A nice little show here, and yeah, probably a little bit worried about Furusato and how he's just in his own race. But yeah, nice and spicy then there. These guys really are giving it some. And look at this group.
Classic ATC.
They're still absolutely, yeah, just jammed together there, fighting over, I think it's 8th place that the head of this group will take home. So a solid 8 points, but yeah, what a train. And at the moment it's the rookie Marianus Nicholas who's in the head of that train. According to the graphics, it probably already changed.
I think
again.
It was actually Dandy heading into the first corner at that in the lead
stream as well. Just gets even crazier.
I'm not sure what Daniel Shiril's been, what motorcycle he's been riding over the last, well, 18 months or so, but he's got a heck of a style backing it in there into turn 6, I think that was. Yes, it was turn 6 there, just letting that bike slide all underneath him. I suppose he's a bit of a taller frame now, can really cope with the bike moving underneath him a lot more.
Yeah, I think we also saw a classic cheeky tap at the back of the seat a minute
the
ago,
Aaron
didn't we?
Trademarked move.
Like, no one's going to probably follow you. I'm sorry.
Well,
but,
he's leaving them behind.
Ahead of us. So yeah, we'll have to see then if Daniel Shiril can just pull the pin a little bit and yeah, get the hammer down and cut into that gap. But it's a fair few meters now. It might be a little bit late.
2.3 seconds it is to the podium now then, so that's looking like it could be wrapped up, bar any disasters for Furusato, Mie and Danish there in 3rd place. But, well, as the sun dips very, very low and into their eyes, we all know what it's like.
In Qatar,
these guys,
like what you want about.
these guys experiencing exactly the same thing at the moment. And look at that, from one side of the track to the other. Mie there with Danish just behind him. Who's going to lead this little quartet into turn 1? It's Thompson yet again with the slingshot move from the pocket rocket Australian. Great stuff in there. 2 laps to go now. This is the penultimate lap of race 1 of the Asia Talent Cup. Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup, I should say. Furusato, just a little check-in on how he's doing. He started tomorrow's race already, leading spots. That is a heck of a ride from him. He can sleep very, very well tonight. Should he take it across line in his current position?
Yeah, really, really impressive stuff from Furusato, like we said. And yeah, it was Shiril, Daniel Shiril, should specify, who really lost out on that that shuffle down the start-finish straight and then into turn 1, wasn't it? He looks like he's trying to fight back, following Hamada through. But yeah, that's getting a little bit close now. But I'm sure it must be frustrating. He obviously made that gap and then saw that all slip through his fingers a little bit on that start-finish straight.
Of a podium, but that's okay. I think, well, some of these guys, I like to think that they would be very happy with their performances today, but the reality is these guys are motorbike racers with huge ambitions, they'll be going to sleep tonight going, oh, Mr. Podium.
One of my favourite press release quotes of all time was former ATC champion Ayumu Sasaki. I think it was a Red Bull Rookies Cup race, and his quote was just like, I didn't win, so I'm not happy. It's like, fair enough.
Yeah.
We like the honesty. So yeah.
And that sort of attitude takes you to the World Championship.
Exactly. But yeah, at least these guys can, because round 2 is now going to take place here at Lusail. But yeah, for us it looks impressive stuff, but for them I'm sure if it's not a win it's like, well, and then try again, get that revenge sharpened and ready to go. It's going to be a big ask against Furusato. They're looking at this form, and these guys also solid speed, and they've not bothered each other too much either, so heading on to the last lap, now the gloves might come off a little bit more. 1 lap and 16 corners to go. Well, considerably less now for Taiyo Furusato. What a ride this has been. But what about these guys then? Into turn 1, 16 more attempts for an attack they can make. You can't call this battle behind them lot. That is the number 9. Is that the rookie still leading the way? Lacan? It's Thanakon Lacan, yeah, so the Thai rider. He's been bothering the front of that group a few times, and yeah, starts the final lap at the head of it. But I'm sure, well, nothing against him, but I'm sure that at least he shuffles in the order, even if he just get it back by the end of the lap. Yeah, excellent job by him. And this is the thing, you just don't know what's going to be happening tomorrow as well. It could be a completely different look race. How much homework can these guys do in simple, well, 24 hours or so? Sharil tried to make it on the first race here of 2021. But what about this? The battle for second then. Gun Mie versus Danish, the man who started for second place and got a frankly woeful start off the line. He will be looking to improve on that this morning, but he's more than made up for it here, even if he just comes away with a mere podium. Yeah, he's really had to put in the work, has the Malaysian, to get back here after, like you said, he bogged down off the pretty solid. But I don't know, that final corner, leading out the final corner, like we said, it didn't work for people last year. Well, whereabouts is our friend Furusato? Because he's got to be coming across the line now. He is. The number 15 then is finally an Asia Talent Cup winner here in Qatar. What a performance. And now we begin the long wait for the second and third place riders to come across the line. What a spectacular one. It's a run to the line. Look at this. It's Gun Mie versus Danish. Is it going to be Danish delight, or is it going to be Gun Mie going gun-ho for the line? He comes across. It's a photo finish. Who was it? It's Mie, says the...